All right, welcome everyone. My name is Eric, and welcome to today's information session from Neotech Academy. And before we officially got started, as I was letting everybody get logged in, I was asking the question, if you could describe your ideal job, what would that look like? What would be some characteristics of that? And I read off one earlier, working remotely, working at home. I'm just looking over here at the chat. High income opportunity, exactly. A lot of people tell me they want to get paid finally what they are actually worth, as opposed to being underpaid, for so many years. So we're going to talk about those things tonight and a whole lot more. And we're going to talk about who Neotech Academy is, what exactly it is that we do. I'll give you some background on us and so forth. And this is going to be, I always like to say, this will probably take about an hour and 15 minutes or so. So I always like to, you know, mention to you, if you would type into the chat as your commitment for being here for the next hour and 15 minutes. It really is worth your while. Just type the letter Y or type out, yes as your commitment to being here, because we're to tell you all that you need to know to potentially make the kind of money that you deserve, potentially getting a six-figure income, which doesn't require a four-year degree, or really any degree for that matter. It doesn't require you to, have tons of experience. You can actually have no experience. And we're going to talk about how that works a little bit later. Also, it doesn't matter what your age is. A lot of people, what they will say is, um, maybe I'm too old. I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s, I'm in my 60s, whatever the case may be, but you're really never too old to get going in this career. Really what employers care about is, can you do the job? So if you are committed to succeeding, learning, it all starts with a learning process, which we're going to talk about tonight, then that's really all that it takes. And we're going to help you get your foot in the door, and we'll tell you about how all that works a little bit later. We also have one of our alumni who's here tonight with us, and his name is Furkan, and he's going to tell you about his story. And he was just like you. I mean, he was watching one of these webinars one night and said, "Who are these guys?" It sounded intriguing to him, and now his life has been changed. And so that could potentially be you as well. Do me a favor, folks. We will mention this a number of times tonight. Go ahead and write down that date which you see on your screen, if you would. Just write down February 16. And of course, now that's going to be into 2025. Can you believe that the year is getting close to wrapping up here? But write down February 16, because that's going to be the date of our next boot camp. This is going to be our ninth batch, if you will. And so we've already had 8 of them. And so we look forward to having maybe one of you being here for our ninth batch, because it really is life changing. And I think you'll see that as we start to go through this tonight. All right, so let's start to just kind of dive into this. Well, folks, why would someone consider, as it says here on the screen, an IT career? I'm sure a lot of you would agree with this. Some of the fastest growing occupations are in IT. For the next generation, think about this. Everything is going to be tech related. I mean, it seems like it already is for the most part, right? Jobs are available in all major cities. But you know what? Just like you guys were indicating in the chat a moment ago, remote opportunities are available as well. Now, it's not a guarantee that you will get a remote job, but I will say this. There are more remote opportunities today than at any point in really in our history. Some companies, yeah, they are asking people to come back into the office, at least maybe on like a hybrid type role, but there are a multitude really of remote opportunities available. I would just say this: if you are required to go into an office, a lot of the companies offer some pretty cool work environments. You probably have seen, on social media videos, maybe even some TV shows where people take you on a tour of their, where they're working in the IT industry. Many of them offer free lunches, which can come in handy, gym memberships, like generous vacation time. Of course, the higher compensation, that's what we're going to focus on tonight. You've also got your 401k, your bonuses. I would say this: IT careers really do check a lot of boxes for most people. Now, speaking of remote, during the height of COVID, when many parts of the world were essentially shut down, the IT industry really thrived. And because there were already remote opportunities available. And so really all COVID did was increase those opportunities. Now, I would say this, for lack of a better way of putting this, the one silver lining with COVID was that it taught people a couple of things. Number one, it taught us that tomorrow is not a guarantee. And by the way, how many of you would agree with that, that tomorrow is not a guarantee? And I would say, secondly, it taught us that we got to have a plan B. You can't rely on, the government. You can't rely on a lot of companies out there. You got to have a backup plan. And for many people around the world, this career in IT that they are transitioning into winds up becoming that plan B. And really, for a lot of people, it becomes their plan A. Now, let me address a few things that I kind of alluded to a moment ago. All right. Now, your background. Right away, people will start to think, well, I don't have a degree in IT. So does that mean this is not for me? No, that's the whole purpose of our boot camp, which we're going to get into more detail with in just a second. If you don't have a degree, don't worry about it. If you do have a degree, but it's in something unrelated to IT, that doesn't matter as well. Okay. So your background is inconsequential. Don't be concerned about that. I've had people who have become students, they've become successful after they graduated, they were parking cars. They were working as a valet. They were driving Uber, or they may have had a sales job. Your background doesn't matter. Employers just want to know, can you do the job, which we're going to teach you how to do. I also get this question a lot. What if there's a language barrier? In other words, I shouldn't say barrier, but what if maybe some of you don't really, speak English proficiently? You speak English, but maybe you feel like it's not the best. That's okay. I mean, if you can communicate, that's fine. But, if English is your second language, don't worry about it. Your background is inconsequential, like I said. Your education level doesn't matter. Also, your age. So again, as I mentioned to you a moment ago, don't worry about it if you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s. Employers just want to know if you can do the job. What I have noticed, I would say over the past probably couple of years, we're seeing more and more people in the healthcare industry, like nurses, as well as teachers, making that transition into IT. As a matter of fact, why don't I do this? I'm going to proceed here, bro. Why don't you type into the chat what career you're in right now as you're looking to make a transition into potentially getting into IT. Just type into the chat and I'll read that a little bit later. Now, let's start off with software testing. And the reason why I say let's start out with software testing, because a lot of people, when they get involved in IT, this is where they begin. So they can start out with software testing and then eventually transition into something that could pay even more money. But let's talk about what exactly is a software tester. It sounds pretty straightforward. I mean, I guess I'm testing software, right? Well, think about it like this. A software tester's role in a company is very, very important. Why? Because you are charged with making sure that the application works properly. So let me ask this question. How many of you, and this is a very rhetorical question, but how many of you have ever used an app on your phone? Everybody here has. You don't even have to respond. If you've used Facebook, if you've used Instagram, TikTok, if you've used Uber, whatever the case may be, you know what a good application is. You try to use it and it works. So my point is, that's what you bring to the table. You've used technology. And then we give you some technical knowledge, some hands-on expertise on top of that, and you put it all together, you learn with our help how to do software testing. Okay, but think about this for a second. Let's say that you are with maybe Uber, for example. Okay. And before the app goes public, you want to make sure it works. So what you're going to do is, what they did was they hired software testers to actually test out the app to ensure that it works before it's introduced to the general public. Because think about that for a second. If you're a company, would you want to introduce a product that crashes when people try to use it. Or maybe the app, even though the software developers were given instructions on, the color scheme or the font or whatever the case may be, but you're noticing as a software tester that that was not done correctly. Well, again, that's where you come in. You come in to make sure that before it goes to the public, that any bugs, any defects are discovered. Now, you might ask yourself, well, how do I know what to find? Well, you will be given a list that are called requirements. It's kind of like a checklist. So you simply go through the checklist looking for, okay, is a color scheme correct? Is the font correct? When I try to use it, does it work properly? If it doesn't work properly, or if something was not done properly by the software development team, here's some really good news. My good news is you don't have to fix it. Isn't that great news? It's your job to simply let them know that there's a problem, that there's a bug, that there's a defect. You make note of it. You let the developer know. They take care of the rest. Okay. But let me just go to the chat for a second. From a 30,000-foot view, which is what I'm trying to give you here, what a software tester does that make sense? Just from a big picture point of view, you are testing the software before testing the application, before the public gets it, before they start using it. Does that make sense to you guys? Just check out the chat here. Okay, I'm seeing a yes, so good deal, good deal. Okay, so job is not to fix the problem. Your job is to locate the problem. The developers, they fix it. Remote opportunities are available, and notice what it says up here, guys. High-paying job opportunities, 90,000 plus potentially. Now, it does depend on where you live, and we're going to talk about that more a little bit later. But again, no degree, you just have to be trained. We're going to train you, and we're going to go through all the training for you in just a few minutes, okay? So here's what we did. We created a boot camp that teaches people from scratch on how to become competent in and have a career in IT. Now, as I said earlier, many successful software testers are not actually college graduates, as that's not a requirement in most cases. Employers just want to know if you can actually do the job, which we're going to train you how to do. Now, one thing I want to make sure that we're clear on is what type of training this is. Well, number one, it's on Zoom, so it's all remote. You're not commuting to an office or anything like that. And it's also, I would characterize it more as experiential training. And here's what I mean by that. Studies have shown that the best way to train someone on how to do anything is to not simply tell them what to do. You tell them what to do, yes, but you also show them what to do. You then let them do it themselves, and you give them feedback on whether they're doing it correctly. And that's really how you learn. Does that make sense to you? So it's not just a PowerPoint presentation, like a dry presentation, something like that. No, we're actually giving you hands-on experience, and that's really how you learn how to do really anything, not just IT, but that's how everybody learns how to do things. When I was in the military years ago, I went in the military before I went into college. Everything was hands-on, and we were taught all these things very quickly. We were shown how to do them, and then we had to do them also. And I went to a boot camp, which probably a lot of you who are tuning in right now went to a boot camp also, wherever you're located. The whole purpose of a boot camp, the reason why we call it that, is because you're learning a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time. So we are shortening that learning curve. To be even more specific with you, what you will learn in our career-focused syllabus, what you will learn in a matter of only 6 months, takes many people in the IT industry years to learn. So that's all being compressed in a very short amount of time. So you'll be acquiring significant technical knowledge in programming, coding languages, and tools. Now, we have a proven process. It can enable you to become competent in and proficient in the IT field. Again, our job, our primary focus is to prepare you for the IT industry and to even help you potentially land a job, which we'll talk about more in just a few minutes. But notice this, course report. has us as the best QA quality assurance testing bootcamp for 2023 for last year. And then for this year, check this out. Best QA testing bootcamp for 2024. So back-to-back years. And then a Career Karma best software testing bootcamp for 2024. Again, 6-month accelerated course. You're accelerating that learning curve, hands-on experience on real projects. Now, let me just make sure we're clear on this. Right now, probably most, if not all of you who are tuning into this, you don't have any experience. What we're going to do is we're going to give you the hands-on experience. You can actually put this on your resume, on your CV. We will help you on how to formulate and how to construct an effective resume. So you'll go from having no experience now to in the future actually having experience, because again, that's why we call it a boot camp, because you're getting hands-on experience working on actual projects. And notice again the salary range there, potentially right out of the gate here as soon as you graduate from our boot camp. Now you'll be exposed to a broad perspective of tools, and this will also enable you to choose after you are. Let's say you graduate from the boot camp. You might decide, hey, I want to be an ETL tester. I might want to be a Scrum Master. Now, by the way, you look at some of these terms up here, and you might say to yourself, well, I don't even know what this stuff means. Just like anything, it will seem foreign to you at first. I always like to use the analogy of, when I was in high school taking calculus, my first semester, I was kind of lost. I did not like calculus very much. Some of you might agree with me on that. But I will say this, by the second semester of taking calculus, what I learned in the first semester was actually pretty easy. Now, it wasn't easy at first because I didn't know what I was doing. But once I had done it over and over and over, by the second semester, I was like, yeah, what I learned, a few months ago, that's easy. I can certainly do that. So it's just like anything else. When you see these terms, like ETL tester, API tester, Scrum Master, it seems foreign now. But again, just like anything else, you'll learn what all these terms mean, and it'll become second nature to you. But it all starts here with our boot camp, learning more in 6 months, like I was saying, than it would take most people years to learn. All right. So what I want to do now is bring on my colleague, Elian. And what Elian is going to do is he's going to tell you more about himself. He's going to go into detail about Neotech Academy, tell you about more of our background as a company. And I'm excited that he's got our guest on as well, who was just like you in your situation. He's going to interview in just a few minutes, and you'll be able to ask him some questions also. So Elian, you want to go ahead and take it away?
Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
My pleasure.
So I'm going to continue the presentation where Eric left. So let me present myself. My name is Elion Limanai, and I have been a software developer for 20 years right now. So we have created this bootcamp together with our partners to make sure that we have to help people that are seeking for a career in IT. And we have done it in a way that people with no background, they're able to learn the stuff and to be able that at the end of the bootcamp to be able to go to the interviews, to be able to pass the interviews and land the job. So I'm going to talk in general, right? So what is the course that we're teaching? What is the flow of our course? I'm going to talk a little bit about the tools and what we offer, and then I'm going to invite the guest, a student, like an alumni who was a student 1 year ago, and he's going to tell about his experience, and you can ask your questions to him about what he suggests and how his experience was during the bootcamp. So we start teaching what is manual testing, right? What is testing in general, as Eric tried to give a brief explanation. Testing is in general is trying to find bugs, trying to find defects, trying to find any problems with the software or any before the update goes to the public. So you don't want the customers, you don't want the users to see those problems, because you want your software to work as expected. So for that reason, the job of a tester is to make sure that everything works fine. And if they find a problem, their job is not to fix the problem, but their job is just to report the problem to the software development team, so that they should fix the problem before it goes to the users. So manual testing is doing those tests, testing those scenarios manually. So we teach about how the software is tested, like what are the terminology that is used there, and then if they find a problem, how do they report it to the team, and everything, right, that is about software testing in general. And only by knowing, so we have had some students that only by knowing manual testing they can find a job, but of course there are not too many job openings, and also the salary is very low, so it's like about, let's say, 70,000 a year. So we don't want our students to just go as manual testers, because now more and more the industry, right, the companies, they want automation testers. They want people who can do the tests with the code, with the scripts. That's why we teach, right? That's why we teach programming language. So we start with coding. We start with Java programming language. Java is one of the strongest and commonly used programming languages. And like we spent 3 months learning Java. That is the first part of learning coding. That is the first part of learning about what is automation, how to write the code. And then after they build that, let's say, foundation, after that we start building on top of it by teaching the automation testing tools. So we teach about Selenium, which is a tool which allows us to open the browser, to make sure that we go to a specific website and then to log in there and to do whatever, right, whatever you need to do. And you do all of those things with your code, and you don't need to do them with your mouse and keyboard, let's say. So I mean, generally I try to give an example. So let me take the Airbnb, for example, this time. Airbnb is an application. It has a mobile application. It has a web application. So our bootcamp is about testing web applications. But of course, after you're learning these things and after you find a job, you can also be hired by companies that are also doing other types of desktop application or mobile application. But our bootcamp is about web application. So let us suppose that in Airbnb you have a house which you want to publish there that people can rent, and then there are the customers, right? In that platform, the customers are renting the houses, and they want to make sure that, let's say, on a specific date they're able to be there and they're able to enjoy the house, right? And they, at the end, of course, they're gonna make the payment and they're gonna review the house and everything. So all those things, right, are done by a software. So our company, let's say, is Airbnb, and our developers are building the software. But let us suppose that when you are publishing a house, right, the customers, they find it as available, but when they go on the day, it's not available. Or let's say that they make the payment, but the payment doesn't go to the let's say, to the owner of the house. So these problems are very big problems for the company, because they're going to lose a lot of money. They're going to lose customers. They're going to lose a lot of money. So what is the job of the software tester? The job of the software tester is to make sure that everything here is working as expected. So we're going to write the code to make sure that when a house is published, everybody can see. If a house is rented by somebody, then nobody else can rent on that specific date. At the end, it is released. The money is sent to the owner, right? All of these things should work as expected. And the things are done right by the tools there. If something goes wrong, then you, right, by the software, of course, you take a screenshot and you report it to the developers to make sure that that thing is fixed before it goes to the customer, before let's say the software crashes. So all this part here, guys, after you learn all this part, then you can go to the companies and you can apply as front-end tester. You see, when we say front test, I know that we're using also a little bit of terminology here, but I hope that you understand, because we're not going into too deep into the details. So front-end testing is whatever the users see, right? The users, they see the software, they use the software. Whatever the users see, it's called the front-end, the part that the user can see. So you as a software tester are able to test the front part of the software, and you can apply for jobs as a software tester. But of course, everything that is, right, everything that is on the software is also stored somewhere. So when you're hiring a house, when you're making the payments, when you're making a review, all of those things are saved somewhere, so that, right, so that they can be shown to the other users of the software. So all these things that are stored in some place which is called database. So you're going to learn about database, how to test the database, and the communication between the front end and the back end is done through the APIs. So again, some more terminology. You're going to learn how to, right, use the APIs, how to test the APIs, because right, by knowing how to test the front end and by knowing how to test the back end, you know both of them, and you can also apply for jobs as front end tester, as back end tester. And if you know both of them, you can also apply for jobs as full stack tester. So you are exposed to more job openings than only manual testing, right, or front end testing. So this is the technical, right? This is the technical part of the bootcamp, what we're teaching. But of course, during the bootcamp, we're also teaching about how to prepare for resumes, how to learn the terminology, because we're going to go to the interviews and you're going to be able to answer questions there, right? They're going to ask you, what type of meetings do you do in your company? How many developers are in your company? What is agile methodology, right? So all these things are taught during the bootcamp, and these are called the soft skills. How to talk in the interviews, how to present yourself, and how to be able to talk about all this technical stuff with your right in the interviews. And also, right, we also prepare you for the interviews, and also we prepare you, like we help you prepare the resume, because when you're done with the boot camp, you're gonna have a resume and you're gonna apply to a lot of jobs. Even after during this time when you're applying for jobs, so the bootcamp is over and you're applying for the jobs, still we're gonna be there to help you, so that until you find the job, until you land the job, we're gonna be there with you. Even when you get offers, sometimes you get multiple offers. Which one is better, right? Which one should you go with? Or let's say how to negotiate with the recruiters. All these things are helped, right? And we have our career placement team, and also we're gonna have Ahmed later to explain about how we help, right, our students to land the job, to get an offer, and then how to get the best offer that they can get from the market. So these are the tools, guys, right? So I mentioned a little bit of some of them. So Java is one of the programming languages we teach in the bootcamp. Selenium is the front-end tool which helps us open the browser and communicate with the browser, send some commands to the browser. We teach about MySQL, which is about database testing. We teach about TestNG and Cucumber. Those are the tools that helps us with the test, how to take a screenshot, how to report if something, right, if a bug was found or something went wrong in your test. You have Postman and Rest Assured, which are about, again, testing the back-end part of the software, right? It's API testing. We're going to teach about Git. So there are a lot of things here, guys, and I don't want you to get scared and to say, oh my God, there are too many things, because we have done these things multiple times. Now we're doing our 8th batch, and we're talking about you will start in February, which will be our 9th batch. Until now, tens of students have graduated, have found the job. And as I said, we have invited one of our students here, which he'll explain about his experience during the bootcamp, and also now that he's working in this career, if it is difficult or not, and then whatever questions you have, you can ask these questions to him. So what do we offer in our bootcamp? So in our bootcamp, guys, right, of course, we're teaching classes, but when we're done with some classes, we do a big project. We do a real hands-on project with a group. We do another project which is individual. We do another project which is manual testing, right? So we do a couple of hands-on experience, right? So these projects will help you see how the thing is done, or how the work is done in the work environment, right? In the real environment. So you're gonna be able to collaborate with other team members, to share your code, to make sure that you are collaborating with others and you're taking your part of the task, and you're doing only your part. So all the tools that we're teaching here, guys, and methods and strategies are the current technology and trends that are done as of right now. So even if you go to a company, and if they're not using Java, let's say, right? So we're teaching here Java, Selenium, TestNG, Cucumber. If they're using another programming language, still it's not a problem, because the companies, they need to know if you're able to, right? If you're able to do those tests, if you have the logic about testing, right? Logic about testing, and that's what they need to know. So even if they're using a different tool or a different programming language, still they will hire you, because you know how to do the job, and you can learn the new language and the new tool in just a couple of weeks or a month or so. So we have had a lot of students who graduated from the bootcamp, they learned our tools, and they apply for a job which are using different tools, and still they were hired there, and they were working at that company with those tools. So all our classes, all the courses are online. Everything as of right now, guys, this is a Zoom session. The same thing will be the classes. Everything will be recorded. They will be shared with you. We have our platform where we share. We have the platform where we ask questions to the teacher. So during the class, we have the teacher. We have our teaching assistants, which will be there to help with technical problems. And during the class, we have, right, we're interacting with the students online. But of course, as I said, everything is recorded, so you can watch them later if you're not, let's say, if you're not able to watch it during the class, or maybe if you want to rewatch it later after the class, everything will be shared with you. And the same thing for this Zoom session, guys. We're going to share this Zoom session with you. We're going to send the link, and you're going to be able to watch it again and maybe share it with your friends that might be interested. So in our bootcamp, we have one-on-one training and mentorship. So we are proud of our mentorship program, guys. So we have generally students that have been graduated from our bootcamp. They've been working in the field like 5 or 6 years right now, and they have real experience, right, working in the companies. They will be able to help you in small setting, in small groups during the bootcamp. Have your sessions, have your meetings with them, and talk about, right, talk about how these things are done, right, in the field. So you're gonna have those experience during the bootcamp. As I said, we're gonna prepare you for the market. We're gonna prepare you, right, with the soft skills, right? How to talk in the interviews, what are the terminologies that are used, right? And then also how to prepare your resume, even in the market, where to apply, how to apply, right? All these things will be taught during the bootcamp. And at the end, guys, we do something we call mock interview. Mock interview is an interview that we do one-on-one with each of our students. So before you graduate, before you start applying for the jobs, one of our mentors or one of our instructors, they will do an interview to you one-on-one, as in real interviews. Ask you about Java, ask you about Selenium, ask you about SQL, ask you about API. If you're able to answer those questions, then you get the okay from us and you can start applying for jobs. If you're not good in any of the topics, we give you some feedback. Let's say, oh, you know what, you're good in Java, but you have problems with your Selenium. Go and rewatch those videos, or I don't know, have a look a little bit more, prepare a little bit more for this topic. And then after that, right, you can do another mock interview. And then after that, if you're ready, then you can start applying for jobs to make sure that you're ready for the market. You're not going there and you don't have any knowledge what you're gonna be asked there. And then, of course, as I said, we have a lot of alumni that have been graduated that are working as of right now, and we have a wide network of alumni and recruiters that they will help you, right? They will help you during the job application process. So even after the bootcamp is over, guys, applying for the job is a full-time process. So during that time, also, you should be able to apply to as many jobs as possible so that you can get interviews. And then after you get interviews, you start going to the interviews and then start passing the interviews. Okay. And as I said, even after you're done with the bootcamp, when you find jobs, still we're going to have our job placement team, which will help you or support you during your job application in the market, so that you can maximize your compensation. Or like, I don't know, as I said, like there might be questions that you don't know how to answer. For example, they're asking you to share your green card information. Should you share your green card information before you get an offer with a recruiter and stuff like that? And we help you during this process to make sure that you are comfortable, to make sure that you are ready, right, for this job. So, like we talked a lot of things, guys, a lot of tools, but what is the schedule? So the bootcamp, guys, right, which will start on February 16th, by the way. So I know there's a lot of time. There's 4 months left, but we want you to make sure that you know what you are applying for, what you are committing for, to make sure that you are ready and you are, let's say, scheduling your week in a way that you're going to be able to watch these classes and to be able to join the classes. And by the way, guys, if you want to get ready so that when it starts, you maybe know some topics, you can contact our, go to our website. There's a link there for the free lessons. So we can share some free lessons with you so that you can see, right? You can see what are the classes that are taught first, let's say a couple of weeks in our bootcamp. So the schedule of the bootcamp, guys, is during the weekdays. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days a week is from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So 3 hours on Tuesday, 3 hours on Wednesday, 3 hours on Thursday. By the way, guys, all the times here are Eastern time. If you are in a different time zone, please make sure that you are doing your calculation. If you are, let's say, in California, then this time will be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., right, during the weekdays. If you are in Europe, then it will be at midnight, right? So let's say 1 a.m. to 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. So maybe you're not going to be able to join these classes live, but of course you'll be able, right? You're going to have the recording and you can join the record. You can watch the recording after the class. But definitely during the weekend classes, you should be able to join, and it's very strongly suggested for you to join during the class, because you can also ask questions and you can also like join with other students there. During the weekends, guys, Saturday and Sunday, 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday. So there is a 17 hours scheduled during the week. This will continue for 6 months, guys. Please make sure that you are prepared, you commit your time. If you want to change, guys, your life to change, if you want to find a job at the end, you need to sacrifice, you need to commit, you need to dedicate your time to the boot camp. If you don't watch the classes, if you're skipping the classes, you don't taking this one seriously, guys, I can tell you up front that you're not going to be able to find a job at the end, because you're not going to be able to express yourself, right? So the only way for this to be done is to join these classes or to watch the recordings later, and to make sure that you're doing all the homeworks, all the tasks, and all the projects that we give to you, so that at the end of the 6 months, you're going to be ready for this, let's say, for this career. So right now, guys, I'm going to invite our guest. Let me see here, Furkan, if he is here.
Hello, Elaine. How are you?
Hey, Furkan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm very excited for this info session.
Yeah, by the way, thank you for joining the info session and being explain your experience to the let's say prospect students. So please explain how your experience was during the boot camp, during, let's say, job application, now that you're working as a software tester, and then I'm gonna get their question. I'm gonna direct their questions to you. Okay?
Yes. So let me start with how I got in this boot camp back in the day. It has been like 2, 3 years almost. So there was a friend who told me, hey, there's a new tech. I joined the 6 month boot camp and I got the job. And I said, I think I need something else similar to this, because I was in the college. I was doing master degree, and my master degree was not enough for anything else. I can easily say this boot camp is more prepared than the any kind of degree. Like it was, I think, my first year after my master program. I started my master program, and then after 1 year, I learned nothing, and I learned new tech, and I joined the boot camp, and I started to learn the coding from you and Sabah, and also soft skills from Ihsan and the Ahmed. And I finished bootcamp around like in 7 months. After I finished, I searched job like 6 weeks, and finally I got job, and I'm working like more than 15 months.
So you've been working for 15 months right now?
Yes, 15, 16 months.
And you said that before the boot camp you were doing your master's degree, and can you tell me what was your background?
I studied engineering, material science engineering, so I didn't have any IT background, and I was doing master on the IT, but like the master degree was not enough for anything else. I got programming classes in master program, but like all my skills, what I learned and what I'm using is coming from the boot camp, from your training and then the Savas training.
Yeah, so it looks like Furkan had a background in engineering, but most of our students, they don't have, so I don't want the other people to get confused. So most of our students, they don't have any background in IT. So you didn't have any experience in coding, any experience, right, as you said. But of course, most of the students, they have probably a bachelor degree in something else, or maybe some of them also don't have any degree at all. So 90, I can say 95%, even more of the students, they don't have anything. They're not related to the IT industry, and we start teaching coding from zero, step by step, so that anybody with no experience, they should be able to do it. It's very important because there are a lot of students that have that kind of question in their mind. So I don't have any background. Will I be able to do the bootcamp if I don't have any background? So I mean, you can also answer this question. What do you think from your perspective? Do you think people with no background can do it?
Absolutely, they can do it. Like I was not different than anyone who didn't have the background. So yes, maybe I was doing master, but I didn't know anything else about the software testing part. And all my colleagues are coming from the different backgrounds. Like all my work friends and everybody has different backgrounds. And right now they're in the IT. Everybody can they achieve after joining the new tech.
Okay, perfect. So that is very important. And you said that after the boot camp, so you were applying for like 6 weeks, and then you were able to find a job. So you found the job, you said 15 months ago. So right, let's say in summer of 2023, something like that.
Yes.
Okay, and then let's say, how was the first days of job? So was the first month a little bit stressful, and then how do you feel right now that you have enough experience in the field?
Yes, so this bootcamp is completely designed on the web applications, and but they give you I can give you a guarantee like new tech is giving a big perspective. Why I'm saying that? Because right now I'm working on the television industry, so it's completely different. They call it embedded devices. I'm not using the tools which I learned from the bootcamp, but I learned the perspective. I learned how I can do it from the scratch. You guys are teaching us how we can build up the framework from the scratch, and how we can get adapt to different environments. Yes, my first month was very hard because my company was not prepared for hiring new testers. They didn't have a good training program, but they were very nice. They knew they didn't have any program. And then in couple months, I think like in 2 months, I was top of everything else, and I learned everything else slowly. And they were completely very nice. And whenever I need something else about like automation part, mostly I'm doing the API automation. I was going back and watching your videos and then Sabbath videos because you guys can access the videos after even you graduate from the bootcamp.
Yeah, that's perfect. And you said that even though like in the field that you found a job that are using probably different tools, still it wasn't a problem for the company to hire you and to give you a job because they knew that you have the let's say the background, and you have the let's say the knowledge or the skills to learn the new tools, right?
Yes, so there are a lot of tools. They are different than each other. Like, but the perspective, the goal, how you use it is very similar. But the new tech is teaching you the big window, how you can use the, like for example, Postman. And if you adapt that, you can also use another tool because they are very, very similar. And when you are looking at job, employer are not giving importance. Oh, you know X program, but you don't know this program. They know the system.
Yeah, that's perfect. By the way, even myself, I've been working for 20 years as a software developer, but if I go to a company, maybe they're using a new programming language or other tools that I don't know, but still I am considered as a senior software developer because I have those experience, those years, and I can easily switch to new tools like if necessary. And also, by the way, you are still in the same company, or did you switch to another company during this time?
No, I'm still working in the same company as a full-time employee.
And what is the title in the company?
So I started as a software test engineer. Right now, I got promoted and I'm working as a senior test engineer.
That's good. Hopefully, also the promotion helped your salary increase a little bit, right?
Yes, yes. Thank
that's
God.
that's good. That's perfect. So, and like as we said, right, during the boot camp. So, what about during the boot camp? What was the hardest part of during the boot camp? What is it, the technical classes, or was it the soft skill classes in general? I mean, of course, this is your perspective.
So uh, I think at the beginning it's been hard to learn a programming language because it's completely a different language. Like it's like you are speaking another language. You are speaking with the computers. But I can give guarantee to people like this bootcamp's program is well prepared. Like they teach you from scratch, step by step. You start with the baby steps and you start to walk and you start to run. So the technical part, learning the Java was hard for me. After I learned the Java, it was easier. Everything started to be easy for me.
That's good. So, by the way, guys, I'm asking these questions to Furkan, but if you have your questions, please ask your questions in chat section of the Zoom and I can direct your questions to him. Though your questions are very important because you might want to learn something, you might have a specific question to him, right? Let me see. So somebody's asking about the homework. So don't worry about the homework, right? The homeworks are given and the homeworks are done together with the teacher to make sure that you understood it correctly in the following class. And as Furkan also said, like we go very slowly, step by step, and we make sure that we, as you said, we start walking. That was a very good example. We start crawling at the beginning and then slowly walking, and then at the end of the bootcamp, students are running. They are at the level that they can do a project on their own. Okay, any questions that you want to direct to Furkan, guys? I'm waiting for your questions. Can you please ask your questions in the chat section of the Zoom? And then you said, what about during the boot camp? Did you do the project? How was the project? Was it like helpful or was it difficult? And how did you feel?
Yes, so the project was very important because we split it to like I think like six people as a group, and then we built the project from scratch by doing our meetings, and also we had a mentor who was also running our meetings, and it was extremely helpful to when I was looking a job. I was talking about my project, which we built with my team in the boot camp.
Yeah, that's good. So now I have a question from Nicholas. He's asking, what is the investment? I guess the question is, what is the payment probably? So what is the price? So we're gonna talk like in the following slides. We're gonna talk about that part. So I mean, if that's the question. And then if you have any other questions, guys, again, as I said, let me ask those questions to Furkan before I let him go. And then if you're good with the questions, then we can continue with the rest of our presentation. Any other questions for Furkan, guys? So one question that I mean can be asked is, what about during the job application process or during the hiring process? Did Neotech support you during that process? I mean, in your case.
Yes, like they complete the support for building the resume. I didn't have any resume related with IT. And also, one of the most important thing is having mentor coaching because you don't have experience and you need a mentor who can explain this field, what kind of questions you are going to get it, you are going to be asked. And also, how the interview structure is going to be for you. The Neotech is giving the whole information, and then they are preparing you for the whole interview process. So I got completely prepared and like supported with Neotech's training.
That's perfect. So I have a question here. Can I use Mac laptop? Of course, you can use Windows or Mac. Both of them are done. So some of our instructors that teach the class with Mac, myself, and there are other instructors which teach the classes with Windows. Both of them are good. And that's not a question for Furkan, but yeah, I think, okay, so now I hope this question is for Furkan. Would you recommend learning the basics of Java before starting the bootcamp, or is it better to come in with a complete blank state? So what do you suggest, Furkan? And I'm going to also give my opinion.
Why not? If you are dedicated, you want to learn some stuff before the bootcamp about Java, yes, I will recommend that. But you can be also sure Alien is going to teach you the Java from scratch. Like from scratch. You don't need to know anything else.
That's perfect. By the way, Anna, so the bootcamp will start on February. So you have 4 months until February. Definitely, I would suggest we can share some videos with you, and you can watch our videos to be prepared. It's good for you to be prepared so that the first couple of weeks are not a shock for you. So that's why I would definitely recommend you to have a look at the videos that we share with you and have a look there. So when it will be. So Anmar, you're asking when the bootcamp will start. So it will start on February 16th. I hope that's the question. It's, as I said, we have 4 months. It's good for you to be prepared. But of course, on February 16th, we're going to start from zero and we're going to teach everything. If you have some time before that to watch some videos, definitely it will help. So I don't think that I have any questions for you, Furkan. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for sharing your experience with the students here or prospect students. And if you have any final sentence for them, final statement for them, I mean, it would be appreciated.
Yes, it was very nice to talk with you again. The final statement will be like this bootcamp is completely changed my life path. Right now, I have an IT job and I'm getting paid well. And working in IT industry is super nice. And also knowing a group of people, Neotech, being in your background, like is very nice. Whenever I need something else, I always reach Ahmed or Ihsan, or if I need any technical things, I always ask you and Sabah. This is very nice. It has been like I graduated more than like 15, 16 months from the bootcamp, but I'm still getting the support, and people should know that. And I hope a lot of people join, and then you guys will touch the people's life, and then their path will change and get into IT.
Thank you very much. But before I let you go, I have 2 more questions, very short questions.
Yes.
Question number 1, are you working remotely or are you going on the office?
Yes, I'm going to office right now, 5 days in office, and I prefer to go to office.
So when you were hired, you were going to office, or was it remote at the beginning? Or
no, it was always like a 5 days in office, and I liked it, like working in person, learning everything else from the people who has also experience in the office is different.
And that's a full-time job, right? With full benefits, right? That's correct? Or are you contract based?
Yes, I have a full-time position.
And last question, perfect. And then last question, since you mentioned, that's why I remember, since you mentioned about the salary. So is the salary, as we promised, like 100K or more, or not? Like what is in your case?
In my case, I'm almost getting 6 figures, but as I mentioned, I'm working as a full-time employee, so I have a lot of benefits. Also, I have a lot of vacation time, and I'm also living in South, so the money has more value in here.
Okay, I see. So in South, maybe the salaries are a little bit lower because the life is maybe a little bit cheaper there, right?
Yes, significantly cheaper than the West or East.
Yes. Thank you very much for joining, Furkan. Have a nice evening.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay, so Ahmet, you can take from there and then continue with the next part of the presentation.
With pleasure. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. This is Ahmed. I'm one of the instructors here at Neto Academy, and I'm also a software tester. I'm actually a senior software tester as of now. And it was so nice seeing Furkan, and it's so nice seeing you too. I mean, I cannot see you guys, but it's a big crowd here, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys in our classes. So let me share my screen, and I'm just gonna go quickly how you'll learn. You already figured this out, and I'm sure you're waiting for the fun part, right? The tuition fee and the placement, how it goes. But overall, this is how you're going to be learning. You're going to be going through the live classes, individual projects, group projects. You will have office hours, you will have mentor sessions, a lot of coding challenges, homeworks, review classes, which are really important because, right, that's how you actually learn it, and mentor sessions, which, as Elion mentioned, we're really proud of because you will get to have one-on-one experience with software testers, like seasoned software testers who is like actively working in different domains. So this is how it goes. But I want you to focus on something really important here. We are not here to just teach you some Java, not just Selenium, like not just the itself, but like this is a career change program. So that what is really important for us for you to be placed in a high paying IT job. And how does that happen? So the job placement is an important piece. It's actually the most crucial piece for us because, again, if you get into a position that defines our success and how we do that, we're going to go through a lot of things. First of all, you will have an extensive knowledge on the market. You will get to build your soft skills. We will put you through a mock interview once you complete this project, and that interview will be the safe environment where you're gonna get like a good feedback, and obviously will help you to build your resume tailor fit to your experience. You know how like whatever your background is, we're gonna just tailor fit to that. You will have still access to our placement team, which is a designated team to answer your questions from like all the business days, that you can always ask your concerns, your questions, and get an answer from. And obviously, we're going to continue with the one-on-one mentoring. And really importantly, is you're going to have access to our alumni network. People like Furkan, guess what happens? Like they will have some availability in their companies, and they usually let us know first, right? So guess who's going to be referred for these positions? Obviously, you guys will be referred. So this is how it works. And my like the favorite thing is the salary negotiation. So it's not like we just drop you right after the program ends. We will be there for you, and we don't have any time limit on the job placement. So we will be there for you as long as you are happy and satisfied. You find a job. And again, my favorite is the salary negotiation. So I mean, I would say most of our students are getting like multiple offers. And once they do that, the best part is to negotiate a better salary, negotiate a better compensation out of them. And that's my expertise, that's my fun. And we will be there to help you with all of these steps. So obviously you can just go online. Glassdoor is a reliable source, and you can just check the annual salary. So this is the average. This is why we say average 90 to 120, but like it can go up to 130 depending on your previous experiences plus how you're able to perform in an interview. But this is overall how it looks. But more, I mean, it's better to look at what the offer letters are looking like to have a better I, idea on how the market is looking like. So this is one of the job offers. We have 100K. The pay frequency is again the semi-monthly. This is another one that is a recent one, October 2024. I guess this was the same thing. Yes. So this is it's like we have international students too, and they were like this student was able to find a job. And this is like franc. I guess in US dollar, it's gonna be around like 130,000 dollars annually. Obviously, there are some bonuses and everything. This is another one, $99,000, which is like $1,000 short. But this has good 401k up to 6%, which is not like it's definitely good. It's free money, right? And what do we have here? We have the $95,000. This is also has like 401k. So as you can see, the offers are not only offer itself, the money that you get, it's also what are the other stuff. Like for example, this one, the base salary is $90,000, but like with the total compensation, we're looking at $100,000 and $500. So if think about it, if you get like two offers and you're not sure, we'll be there to help you. And again, we'll give you some some tips and tricks, some tactics in order to get that, maximum number from the recruiter, from the hiring manager. That's what we're going to be helping you with. Okay. These are some of the big companies that our alumni is actively working at, and obviously, you don't really necessarily. I mean, this is. I know it sounds fancy to work for Fortune 500 companies, but it's not always the best, and we'll give you some experiences so you'll get to have access to our mentors. They're working in different companies, and you will see if like working for a Fortune 500 company is better than working for a startup. So you'll get to experience all of these within our program. And that's mostly our Wednesday classes, which we talk about soft skills. And again, all the necessary things about being a software tester. Oh, so yeah, so that's about it. I'm gonna give the microphone back to Eric, but I'll be looking forward to seeing you in our classes. And this is our new batch, February 16th. So hopefully you guys get to decide, and we'll see you there. Eric?
All right, great. Thanks, Ahmet. Can everyone see my screen where it says average cost of education? If you can just give me a Y in the chat for yes, that's what you're seeing on your screen. Average cost of IT education. And I want to ask this question. How many of you know someone who got a degree and they aren't even working in that field? I mean, I have family who spent tens of thousands of dollars to obtain degrees, and they never actually got a job in what they were studying. I mean, and they're out, all that money. So check out the average cost of college tuition these days. And when you throw in all the extras, such as room, board, supplies, other expenses, you're looking at, on average, over $36,000 a year. And some of you probably already know this, because maybe you've got kids that are about to go to college, or maybe you recently attended, or you looked into it yourself. And then you've got private universities, and they could easily be 50, 60, 70,000 plus dollars a year. I mean, it's insane when you start to think about it. So you're looking at over, potentially at least, well over $200,000 when it's all said and done. And then here's the thing. Here's my question for you. You spend all this money. Now, granted, you may have gotten a scholarship, you may have gotten a grant or something like that, but you're probably out at least something, right? And all that time, money and time, and is the university obligated to even help you find a job? Ahmet was showing you a moment ago how that's part of what we do here. We don't just train you, we do all that. Well, we also help you potentially land that first job, just like our guest, our alumni, showed you a moment ago, told you about his story. So when it comes to boot camps, notice what it says. The average boot camp is over $13,000, which is unattainable for a lot of people. So here's what we've done to help people get their new career, and I would say really their new life started. So we have the tuition broken down into two parts, and I want to walk you through exactly how that works. Now, again, we would love it if everybody here, became one of our students and ultimately a graduate, but a boot camp can be cost prohibitive for some folks. And so here's how we've done this. So we have our regular tuition, as you can see there on the screen, at $52.49. And then we have our early bird discount, which is $500 off. Now, that early bird discount is applicable until the end of this month. So November 1st, that goes away. So when you take that into consideration, that brings the tuition down to $47.49. Now, I said a moment ago, the average boot camp is over $13,000. So I'm going to show you how we're different here, okay? First of all, that $47.49, that is paid in 7 monthly installments of only $678 per month. Now, the balance of this whole thing is done this way. It's very unique. 85% of your first month's salary, so you have to find a job first, which we're going to help you to do. your first month's salary at your new job, 85% of only that first month's salary, that's it, is then paid in 4 monthly installments. So again, you don't pay this until you actually find a job. So you've got the regular tuition. We're giving you $500 off just for attending here tonight. So this is kind of like you're going to a university and you're checking things out. you know, you're visiting the school, and if you ever, some of you who did go to school, did go to university, or someone who did, they may have checked it out, like for a day or so. And that's what you're doing here. This is like your visitation. So you check this out for well over an hour. We give you $500 off. Your tuition comes down to $47.49. That's then paid in 7 monthly installments of $678 per month. And then once you land a job, which will help you do, 85% of only your first month's salary is required. And that's paid, not the whole thing, but that's paid in 4 monthly installments. So we also have additional discounts so we can keep bringing that tuition down. When you are referred by a Neotech student or alumni, there's a referral discount. If you sign up in groups, like a group of 2, for example, each student gets $150 off. If it's a group of 3, each student will get $200 off. If it's a group of 4, just reach out to us and we'll let you know what we can do for you as far as that goes. And here's why we do that. Let me get back for that actually for just a second. The reason why we do this, the reason why we encourage groups is because you can help motivate each other. You can help solve problems. You can do your homework together. When you graduate, you might even be able to help refer each other to job opportunities. And it's kind of like going to the gym with your buddy. You got a gym buddy here. Now, what if I change my mind? That's a big question. Well, there's no deposit. There's no application fee. You don't pay anything until the boot camp actually begins. You start paying when the classes start, not before. You can cancel for free anytime until the boot camp starts. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, 100% refund if you decide to leave until you complete your first month. So think about it like this. Since we're helping you in this whole process, we're taking the risk. It's risk-free to you. We're taking all the risk. And most boot camps, if not all of them, the way it works is you're kind of like on opposite sides of the table with the boot camp, with the school. But with us, we're on the same side of the table with you because we're helping you to potentially land that first job. So guys, take that first step. To learn more about the boot camp, go to neotechacademy.com/bootcamp. You could also book a call with our admissions team, neotech.live/call. If you're not ready to call, submit your interest this way. Go to neotechacademy.com/apply. But definitely secure your spot now because we will be doing another one of these. And when we do these information sessions, the classes start to fill up. So email us at any time for questions. You see our email address up there, team@neotechacademy.com. You can also schedule, like I said, a live call or call directly at 929-566-3919. Now, why join Neotech Academy? I think we've given you plenty of reasons tonight, to potentially change your life. And so, maybe you could end up yourself like Furkan when he came on earlier. He did an awesome job. I loved hearing his story. But maybe, you're still thinking, you're still wondering, like, how is this different from other things that are out there? Well, let's do a comparison, shall we? Let's say you are self-taught. How much time will it take you if you are self-taught to learn what we can teach you? Well, who knows? Because you're teaching yourself, and so often what happens is people procrastinate. I always like to joke that a buddy of mine, he was telling me for years, he bought War and Peace, went to the bookstore, got it. And I used to ask him, so how far are you along in War and Peace? He's like, it was always like chapter 1, years into this thing. So people have a tendency, it's human nature to put things off, to procrastinate. So if you're self-taught, again, who knows how long it's going to take you? There are people who have been saying that they're going to go back to school and get a degree, or they're going to start their own business. And they've been saying that since they were in their late 20s, and now they're in their 40s and 50s, and they haven't done it yet. So if you are at a university, it's 4 years or more. If you're doing online courses, it's self-paced. With us, it's 6 months. It's very clear. It's laid out. It's etched in stone. We beginning to end 6 months. You learn more in 6 months than it would take you years to learn on the job. I won't go through all of these in the interest of time, but again, when you're learning and you're self-taught, you're learning it by yourself. University is not very interactive. Online courses are not supervised. With us, it's hands-on, it's live, real teachers. You're self-taught. Well, there is no industry expert because you're the expert, right? But you don't know anything at this point. University, well, you might have someone who's an expert teaching you. You might not, because a lot of people in universities know things in a theoretical sense, not really in a practical sense. I had a business professor who never started a business before, and that's just how it works in many cases. With us, of course, industry expert trainers, wonderful instructors like Elian and Ahmet, because they're out there in the real world actually doing it right now, and they're bringing that expertise to you. So we have career services. Our content is market driven. It's up to date. So we're not teaching you a bunch of things to learn that are going to be obsolete the moment you graduate. There are some boot camps out there which will last 6 months or a year, and they're full of fluff. They're just filling up the course with a bunch of stuff so they can say that it's 6 months long or a year long, whatever the case may be. We put what you really need to know in our boot camp. One-on-one mentorship is available. Technical support is also available nearly 24/7. Obviously not available if you're self-taught or online, and very limited in a university type of setting. So yeah, we are passionate. We're passionate about people's success. We're passionate about your success. We're going to do everything we can to not only give you the education, to give you the hands-on experience on real projects, but also to take that next step afterwards and possibly even help you find a job. So our program, yes, tested, proven. It's a collaborative environment. We constantly work on guiding our students towards the best jobs in the market. And again, folks, we are here to help you build your career from the ground up. So we're going to help you get your foot in the door, so to speak, get that door open. And then from there, all kinds of opportunities will then be potentially open for you. So folks, as we wrap this up, I'm going to bring back Elian and Ahmet, and we're going to take some final questions from you. So go ahead and fire away if you would, if you have any questions for us as we start to wrap this up.
Yes, guys, please feel free to ask your questions in chat. We mostly get questions about the tuition fee and placement fee that might be a little confusing. But yeah, apart from that, if you have anything else, this is the time. If not, of course, this is not only the time, because you can always reach us out with like directly calling us or sending us an email. But yeah, we'll be here for your questions. So let's give a second. Her. I guess we have a shy group today, or everything is super clear. I would like to believe the second one.
One of the things that I would like to mention is like you can ask for free classes, right? So free videos, let's say, right, that you can watch to be prepared for the February. That's very important. So if you want to spend this time by learning something, please make sure that you are going to our website, and then in the website you can look there for the free videos there, and then they can be shared with you.
Now let me share that. This is how you do it, guys. You can just go to our website here, and you can just click here, and that would give you access to our free lessons. This has a lot of classes, so of course you have to submit your email, and we can take it from there. But this is the best time to enroll because this is the cheapest price that you will be able to get. Obviously, you are not committing to anything as of now till February 16th. So this is how we designed it. So you have nothing to worry about. You can always change your mind. But yeah.
Yeah. So this is the highest discount, and by the way, as Eric mentioned, and I just want to make sure that as of right now, guys, if you enroll right now, right? If you enroll right now, you will not be paying anything until February 16th. And then on February 16th, you're going to start with the first, let's say, first monthly installment. And you have time until March 16th. So you can have 30 days, let's say 30 days, or maybe up to 17th or 18th, because February is shorter. So you have a 30 days trial period. During the time, you can watch the class, you can join everything. And then if you think that it's not for you, then you can, let's say, drop the class, and you're going to be refunded 100%. So that is for you to give a try and to make sure that you're looking for it yourself, and when you're making your choice, you know what you're looking for. So I think we're good for tonight. There are no more questions. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful night.